Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to talk about 4 separate ideas that you can implement within your practice that's going to help your iron play, and also 4 reasons why you do struggle. Issue number 1 I do see on a regular basis is people's lack of understanding or lack of control to where the club strikes the ground. If we don't have much control where the club head strikes the ground, it's going to be very difficult to make efficient contact every time. So move too much mass behind the golf ball, how does that look? Head gets too far behind the sternum gets too far behind the middle of the belt buckle, and then what happens from there, we've got too much of a sway, too much lateral movement behind the golf ball, so the head's the heaviest part of our body. Whatever direction that's going to go in, that's going to move our mass and pressure in that direction. So if my head goes behind the golf ball, my head's going to get outside my chest, and my chest is going to get inside my belt buckle. It's going to be really hard to transfer my weight back to its original position, if not getting my weight a little bit more to the left side. Don't get your head and chest too far behind your lower body. From there, as you can see, my right hip and my right knee get too far outside the middle of my right ankle. With too much of your mass behind the golf ball, it's going to be really hard to get back to your left side. Visualise as a flashlight, but also a straight line between your head, between the middle of your sternum, so the zip on your jumper, and also your belt buckle. Keep your head in line with the middle of your sternum and also your belt buckle. It loads into the instep of right foot as opposed to the outstep. Keep your eyes in between both feet, swing to the top, then from there, that's going to help us transfer our weight into our left side a little bit earlier. The biggest reason why you struggle with iron play is understanding the position of the club face. Many people who swing the club back get the club face really open, meaning that the toe gets too far behind the heel, the grooves are too much towards the sky. Club face is the barometer. Whatever position that is in the backswing, we're going to have to compensate on the way down to autocorrect that, and also compensate to get the club in a good position. So backswing, the knuckles get close to the wrist angle, club gets a little bit across the line, club face gets relatively open. So because the club face gets relatively open, your 7 iron is turning into a 9 iron, meaning that we're going to have to do something on the way down that's going to create a compensation mechanism to try and square that club face up. Then let's say we do everything correctly, our chest is facing the ground, our pressure moves into our left side, and we add this shaft lean. What's going to happen is when we add the shaft lean, that's going to orientate the face quite significantly to the right of the target. So your 10-yard cut is going to turn into a 30-yard cut. If the club face is open, then you add shaft lean, the club face is going to be so open you're going to struggle to hit your target on a regular occurrence. Put your right hand down the right hand side of the golf club so you open up your right palm. If I swing the club back and open up that club face, my right palm is going to be pointing towards the sky. This is you where you create too much forearm rotation, you're turning the steering wheel too much to the right, where that right arm gets too far behind the left arm. So how does that look? I almost feel like my right arm stays more on top of my left arm when we put our hands on the golf club. So right hand stays more on top of the left hand, and my right hand's going up a little bit quicker, my left hand's going down, and I allow the right hand to stay a little bit more on top of the left hand as opposed to rolling the forearms too much, where right hand gets relatively low. Draw, you're trying to hinge the club up a little bit quicker, how does that look? Left hand's going down the way, right hand's pulling up, and the club face is in a slightly more square to close position. You swing club back, right palm more down towards the ground. As you get to the top, back the left wrist more towards the sky. This because the club face is really open. How do we square that up? The right arm straightens too early, grip end of the club goes back the way, and we get an impact position that looks like this. Grip end of the club is almost outside the right foot. Because the club face is in a slightly more closed position, we can then add that shaft lean in that everyone wants to achieve. The more I add the shaft lean in, the more that's going to square up the club face, and that's going to reduce the loft, but it's also going to enable us to make ball turf contact. Many golfers get into a position where this right shoulder drops too soon, so the right shoulder drops, the right arm lengthens too early, so the right arm straightens, club head hits the ground before impact, and then from there we get a position where our chest doesn't open up at impact, so the chest stays pretty closed, the chest stays facing the golf ball. So the more my chest goes back and doesn't open up, the more the club's going to hit the ground before impact. Off the backswing, right shoulder drops too early, left shoulder goes up, and what happens from there, the more my upper body tilts back the way, the more my weight is into my right foot. Struggle, you get to the top of the backswing, right shoulder drops too early. As you can see from there, the club head gets low compared to the grip end, so right shoulder was down. Here I'm going to get the club to the golf ball as I'm going to straighten that right arm too early. So that right arm straightens, I'm going to add this loft, And then we're going to release the club quite early. Higher, bring your left shoulder lower. How do we initiate that? Put the club on your shoulders. From here, feel like your right shoulder, right hip and right knee get past the golf ball. That's a great feeling. So straight line all the way down, right shoulder, right hip and right knee. We're going to try and get those three segments past the golf ball impact. How does that look? My right knee is going to go first, then my right hip, then my right shoulder, so the club head gets past the golf ball. That feeling is going to allow my chest to open up a little bit more efficiently through impact. It's going to preset the rotation of the chest, and it's also going to allow the lower body to work out the way first. Get to the top of the backswing, and then we stall the rotation of the body so the chest doesn't move forward. The top, I'm not letting my right hip drop too low compared to the left hip. Time I finish my backswing, I've already started downswing, left side of this cane out of the way, side of the cane out of the way, pressure's moving into my left foot, hip clears out the way, that's going to allow my belt buckle to face the target, and then that's going to allow my chest to follow suit, so the hips open first, the shoulder stays a little bit higher in transition, left shoulder stays a little bit lower, chest facing the target. That's going to enable you to get your weight a little bit more into your left side, chest open up, is going to enable us to create a shaft line that everyone wants to achieve, and also create ball turf contact. How you get the club to land on the left hand side of this alignment stick, you're going to transfer a little bit more weight into your left side. You're going to allow your chest to open up a little bit quicker towards the target. Don't let the right shoulder drop too early, where that right arm gets too straight too early on. Two feelings from here. We're going to let the club land on the left hand side of this alignment stick. He's moving away from right knee, chest is getting ahead of that alignment stick. Pressure moving into your left side a little bit earlier, chest to get in front of this alignment stick a little bit earlier in the downswing. That's going to allow you to make ball turf contact, so weight transfers into your left side. So impact, your left leg should feel really heavy, your right leg should feel really light. Your right knee close to the left knee, that's automatically going to push the left hip out of the way. As a great achievement, you're trending in the right direction. Comment below with your thoughts on that video. There's 4 different issues I see on a daily basis, which is holding your iron plate back, and it's also creating a few issues. Mass, a little bit more in line, so head more in line with the middle of chest, and also the middle of your belt buckle. The second piece of the puzzle is making sure the club face is in order, making sure that club face isn't excessively open, making sure it's pretty square. And then the third issue is adding in a little bit more upper body rotation a little bit earlier, so chest opening up a little bit more towards your intended target, weight a little bit more into the left side. Up lands before the golf ball and hits the ground, we're going to add lots of loft. The main objective here is a bit more weight into your left side, getting the chest a little bit more open towards the target. It's going to allow you to hit the golf ball first and create a slight compressed divot after impact. Like and subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome.